So Tema Kplejoo basically means that we are preparing ourselves for the annual Homowo festival that we celebrate. We do it 4 times in a row. We do Friday, that is Sakumo Kpele. Saturday, that is Chade Kpele. Sunday, that is Hoba Kpele. And the following week becomes the climaxing of the whole thing.
The following Saturday?
The following Friday.
Okay.
It's the climaxing of the whole thing. Now, when you come to Tema, we have some principal streets that even if the commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces resides there, because we have a ritual right, a customary right we perform there, we use those routes. And we've been using that very route in question even before the establishment of the naval base. So we have a very closer link with them.
Naval base was established in which year, do you know?
I think I was told about 60 years ago.
60 years,
yes.
Okay. So that's back dates about 1964?
Yes, about 60 years ago.
Okay.
So they have had so many FOCs and they believe in our customs and our traditions. So sometimes we even have our festival celebrations and then we invite some of them. You know, any military higher rank that touches ground or comes to Tema, the first point of call is the Tema Traditional Council, because they have to pay homage to the traditional leaders and the allodial owners of the land. So we have done these 3 Kplejoo festivals, and let me put it on record that this year's Kplejoo festival has been one of the best in so many years. Because most of the times you have Kplejoo festival, you have groups fighting among ourselves. At the end of it all, the traditional council has to bear the cost. Somebody's car has been broken. Somebody's phone has been snatched. You know, when youth come around, definitely some of these things happen. But I can say this on record that this very year Kplejoo has been one of the most beautiful one. So the traditional council is even planning that after all is said and done, there are some 2 groups in Tema here. We are more like rivals. I belong to one of the group. So the expectation is that every year after Kplejoo, Team Ayiseke and Team Jamaica, we always expect something of that sort.
Ayiseke means what?
Ayiseke means that we are mad.
And then the other group name is what?
Jamaica. You know Jamaica, Yabre.
I see.
So their dressing has to do with, they always have camel down and a black top. But ours, Ayiseke, I mean anything at all you wear, we are good to go. Just because youth want to take part in the festive season. And Tema is not the only place we do this thing. When you go to all the Gadamwe communities, we do it there. Teshik, Panshimo, La, Panshimo. This is our culture. This is what our ancestors left for us. So we are doing everything possible to project it and to protect it.
Okay.
So this very day that incident happened, this very group I mentioned, we are rivals. So that day being the final Kplejoo, we were anticipating that definitely when they come closer to us, definitely we're going to have something like a fight or something. So we got to a point, we even exchange our flags. You know, the flag, whoever has the flag is just like a contingent commander. Wherever he goes, we follow. And I don't know if you have seen our numbers. My group, for instance, we are more than 1,000. I mean, you can't even count everybody. Sometimes you look at the costume the person is wearing, you can say that, okay, he belongs to this very group. He belongs to the other group. So that day, around 7 p.m., around 6:37, they were following us keenly. My group is Ayiseke. In fact, that day, I was even bare-chested. People were like, oh, a whole politician, a whole this. But let me put it on record that this Kplejoo festival is celebrated by all the political figures we have in Tema, including men in clergy, men in how do you call it, clericals. Yeah. Yes. The member of parliament for Tema East constituency, Honorable Isaac Ashawo Damtin, was part. The mayor of Tema, Honorable Yohane Amashite, was part. The regional minister designate, Honorable Daniel Kwateta, was also part of the celebration. So they know what we do.
They all belong to these groups.
They all know. They belong to, I think they belong to different groups. But because our group has the youth in numbers, you know, politicians. So sometimes we approach the Deba grounds, they will come and they will collect our flag because they want people to know they also have the youth on, at their side.
Okay.
But they also have a group that is more of matured people. You see old women, and that is where the MPs and the mayors belong. So this very night I am talking about, in fact, we were approaching the military base, and I realized that our people were coming closer to us. And the moment they come closer to us and they miss with that, definitely there might be fight or something. So I called another 5 guys, plus me, we were 6. So I told them that the 6 of us are going to be like boundary. When our group is moving, the 6 of us are going to be like a boundary. We are holding our hands to the extent that the other group, Jamaica, will not come and join us to bring anything fight. So we got to the military base.
And this was around what time?
It was around 7:30 p.m.
on Friday.
On Friday night.
Okay.
Because that was actually the last day. So everybody wants to be seen. Everybody wants to have a feel of it. Like I mentioned, I was bare-chested. The people were surprised. And not only me, but other people as well. So we got to the military base, and you know, when you get to their entrance, they have this sack. I don't know, it's just like a barricade. I was at the top. The place is a bit slopey, so when you are at the top, you see everything that is happening down. And because we were being the last group or the last two to make sure the other group is not joining us, I was monitoring everything that was happening. Yes, he's an elite person. He's finding himself among that. I mean, those boys. Yeah. So if anything happens, he has to question. He has to be questioned. Sorry. So we got there, and I realized this military car. In fact, I can't tell whether it is actually coming from the main route or actually coming from their main barracks or their main entrance. But the rate and the speed with which this car was coming, though they had barricades, but then he was just driving on top of speed. So the one with the flag, realizing that the car is approaching us on that same top speed, he actually the flag is very long. So he just crossed the car with the flag. Some were holding this side, others were holding the other side. So two guys came out from the car. They were in the military uniform. The car is actually a Lily branded Toyota Haze. But I have seen that car before, and I know it's a military car. But beneath the car, there is this Eastern Naval Command. It has been written beneath the car. So quickly, when I saw the incident, I approached them. I went there because I had to make sure I settled this matter. Military, and unfortunately for us, we were in their terrain, their zone. So when I got there, the first person that alighted from the car and approached me mentioned my name, future MP, and he said it in our local dialect. Common no will be if you look at what your people have done. So because he spoke Ghana fluently, I replied to him, the way you are speaking Ghana fluently simply means that if you are not from Tema, you are a Ghana man, you understand the culture and the tradition of the people of Tema. Why should you be in this same vehicle for the driver to be driving on such top speed, looking at the number of youths that are coming? You know there's no way we will allow you go through this with that top speed. And let me put it on record. I mean, the military cars, the other time I think the minister was of the view that on what basis can a military car drive through a crowd. In fact, we never stopped them from driving. The police cars were with us. Sometimes they will come and they will on their hazard, and because we know they are there purposely for security sake, we let them pass. Sometimes one of them will alight with his gun and everything, will just be giving the car escort, you understand, through us, and then we just move. But this car was on top of speed, so that is why the guys also stopped the car. And when they stopped the car, they started hitting the car, bang 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 bang. Everybody was just trying to hit the car. So when I got there and the guy came out and spoke, I was like, no, if you are in a military uniform and you are speaking fluent Ghana, it means that you understand our culture. So why should you allow such thing to happen? The two guys that came out from the car were also in military uniform, but then they have their masks on. So automatically the guys they dispersed because we weren't going to attack a military base. Their uniforms alone scare us.
But why did you hit the car?
Senior, seeing somebody driving on that top speed into a crowd like this, the first thing to do is to, stop them.
So the car stopped.
The car actually stopped.
So once the car stopped, why were you still hitting the car?
He entered us with that speed, and this is life and death we are talking about. This is life and death.
So he drove into the car.
He drove into the crowd, and we stopped the car. So that's when they started hitting the car. So when the guy
humbly asking why they had done that,
why they are doing that. So when those two military men came out with the uniform, they entered the base, but their presence alone scared the guys, and some of them had to run for their lives. So those two military guys entered the base. After speaking with them, the driver called, was like, Senior, come and look, they have broken our screen. In fact, I went round, I checked the car, and I realized that is the only place that has been broken. And you can see that this is a stone somebody threw. So I spoke to them amicably.
So wasn't there people banging the car? Somebody
threw a stone. In fact, that is what they said. And when I saw where you have those stickers, I mean the VAT and those stickers. So I told them, I introduced myself to the driver behind the wheels and some other military men in the car. So like, I am Henry Uko. I am the public relations officer and the youth spokesperson for the traditional council. So I'm begging you, the incident happened right in my presence. Tomorrow is Saturday morning. I will come here, I will take you to the traditional council. We are going to fix your screen for you. We agreed on that. We settled that matter. They said, okay, then tomorrow morning. So I told them that there's another group coming with another huge number. So to avoid what has transpired again, because the car is, parked in the middle of the road, and that is where we are going to pass, though it is the entrance of the military base. So I'm begging them, they should drive back, because from where the incident happened, just like a 2-minute drive into the main entrance of the base. So I was like, I'm begging you with the greatest of respect, drive back into the base where this group passes. We see how to go about. Already we have settled the matter. So I was waiting for the other group to come. I quickly moved to their leader and I told the leader what this is what has happened. So as soon as possible, I want us to leave the military zone because you know military men. So quickly they agreed and they came and they were passing. The only thing I saw was another 6 military men coming from the main entrance, and anybody at all they grab, they start beating them in my presence. You hear the guy shout, "Oba me, like you wound me, my head into it." They were just caning them. Some were even using the back of the gun. I saw everything with my eye. So I approached them and I was like, "Senior, we have settled this case. Those that you are beating." In fact, my group was the one that had the banter with the team. So if there's anybody you must arrest, I am the best person to arrest. Then one guy responded, "Master, me if you know he said, Master, me if you know leave, I go slap you." And the 6 of them, they were all in marks. So after he said that, first thing and foremost, in fact, obey before complain, I had to step aside. So the one with the flag, like I mentioned, is the contingent commander. So when he heard that some of the guys have been arrested who knows nothing about the incident that I told him about, the flag, the guy with the flag turned. And you know the numbers, anywhere the flag goes, we follow.
Yeah.
And when you come to our tradition in Tema, if somebody does something wrong and we compose a song to insult the person, we will come to your house, the flag, we will come and situate the flag at your doorstep. We will dance, we will jubilate. When we are done, you give us money, you either give us powder, you pour powder on us, and we leave the scene. So that is exactly what the guys were of the view, that they are coming to jubilate in presence of that entrance, and maybe their guys are going to be released. They didn't even get to the entrance. And there's one guy at the top who is, I think he's playing a supervisory role kind of something. He also had a gun. The only thing I heard him say, "Be alert and be on guard." I don't know if the flag turning was a threat to them or kind of something. There's some few interval. The guys even didn't get there and they started shooting. What I saw was a warning shoot. In fact, the guns were in the air all over, just like a war front. So quickly I had to run and leave the scene. So upon hearing those warning shoots, the guys also looked around them. In fact, we weren't having machetes with us. We weren't having wooden or machete or anything. Mm-hmm. They saw stones around them and they also started throwing stones back to the military. So at that instant, I realized that I can't go and stand in front of the military men because I've already been warned to leave there, else I'll receive slaps. I can't go and stand in front of my guys as well because they're also throwing stones. So I decided to use that bottom-up approach. So I was actually using another footpath that leads to the only polyclinic we have in the community. So when I use that route, automatically I'm going to be behind the guys and I'm either going to calm them or settle the matter there. Upon reaching the polyclinic, I saw about 3 guys that were being rushed there. One person, I can tell you as a matter of fact that you could even say he was even dead on arrival. So the medical practitioner, the lady on duty was like, no, these 2 people, their cases are very critical. So transport them immediately to the Tema General Hospital. I became confused that instant. And I mean, the guys were like, Navy before any shooter, me. The Navy guy shot them. I was like, oh, so I saw warning shoot. So it means that when I left there, there was a different approach altogether. So quickly, I called some of the traditional leaders that this is what has happened. I was there with one guy who had a gunshot through the side, so he was
through his thigh.
So he was being attended to by the nurse on duty. So probably around, the incident happened around 9, 10. It got to a point around 10 thereabouts. That zone became so quiet, and even when they started the warning shot thing, every light within that very enclave, the entrance of the military base, everything went off. So you can't even identify that this person is shooting directly or this person is shooting indirectly or something. So around 12 a.m. I had a call from the member of parliament. I had a call because he knew I was part of that group. I had a call from the mayor of Tema as well. They all told me this is an incident they have heard. So the next call I received was from the Tema regional commander, Mr. Eke, Commander Eke. Police commander, because he was with us. He knows I am part of the group. So anything about the youth and Kplejoo, I represent all the security meetings we have. And I even assured him that this very year, we are going to have a Kplejoo that is going to be free and fair, without fight, without any stabbing or those things.
Any trouble.
Any trouble. And I think my guys delivered until that very day, that very incident happened. So it was around 12 a.m. He confirmed to me that 2 guys that were sent to the general hospital lost their lives, and it's actually as a result of gunshot wounds. So the next morning, we were actually expecting to hear something from the Navy, only for us to hear a communique that says that a whole lot, and Tema youth attacked the military base. So around 5 a.m., the Member of Parliament, Honorable Isaac Ashayo Damtin, the Mayor of Tema, Honorable Yohan Yamashite, and the Greater Accra Regional Minister Designate, like I mentioned, they all took part in the Kplejoo Festival. They came to the Traditional Council as early as 6 a.m. The traditional leaders were there. They wanted to ascertain what really happened. We and eyewitness to everything. I explained it to them, I narrated it to them. And then the Tema Regional Police Commander. So right from there, since we have lost lives, as tradition demands in our culture, you go straight to the bereaved family, you share your sincerest condolences with them. So we did that for all the families. I mean, not only the bereaved families, but the ones that, the guys also that had gunshot wounds. And since then, we were actually expecting to hear something from the Eastern Naval Command, only for us to get a communique from Ghana Armed Forces signed by one Brigadier Agri-Kwashi, and the latter part of the communique stated clearly that any further attack from the youth, they will also respond in that. And in fact, this is conflict resolution. We are trying to find solutions to this. So it shouldn't even end with a threat. But they being military people, I think they should know better. So as far as I am concerned, this is what happened. And
per what you know,
per what I
you saw,
per what I saw.
Okay.